Hey everybody, this is Pat, also known as Quiet Riot. Just here for a quick podcast. I wanted to talk about this malarkey that's going on in Congress right now, the fast tracking of the Trans Pacific Partnership. It's the latest crummy trade deal. Their intent that the politicians and the powers to be, the corporate powers, are intent on shoving down our throats. Just had to sound off on this because I think it's terrible. I mean, we've got 30 some years of history when it comes to these bad trade deals. And you know, Ross Perot, who ran for president in '92 on the Reform Party ticket, he couldn't have been any more right when he said that NAFTA, that you could literally feel the giant sucking sound of our jobs being sent overseas with the passing of the North American Free Trade Agreement. Of course, that was passed when Bill Clinton, we had a Democrat president, Bill Clinton, and a Republican Congress. Now we have a Democrat president, Barack Obama, and a Republican Congress. Just like we did in the 90s. Sound familiar? And they're intent on shoving through what this is the latest of another bad trade deal that will result in more likely than not hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of American jobs going bye-bye as factories are shuttered, and more of these multinational corporations are able to open up what more or less are sweatshops and factories, you know, where they don't have to pay people a living wage, and they don't have to follow OSHA safe. You know, they don't have to provide safe working conditions. But you know, I'm from the Midwest, and I'm from Middletown, Indiana, and real close to Anderson. And this trade issue is very near and dear to my heart, and it really pisses me off to see them flushing our the future down the toilet for so many people who've worked in factories and made a good living over the years. Both my grandfathers retired from General Motors, from Delco Remy actually, which was General Motors parts plant in Anderson, Indiana, and during the heyday of Delco, I think they employed 20 or 30,000 there in Anderson. It was at one point a bustling, strong, middle-sized town, Midwestern town. And of course, you had United Auto Workers had organized the plants, and they were strong, reliable, middle-class jobs. And both my mom and dad grew up in families that benefited handsomely from those Delco Remy, UAW jobs. And in the 90s, they shut all the plants down and relocated those jobs to Mexico after they passed NAFTA. So it really pisses me off that they're trying to shove another one of these damn things down our throats. And now we have what's supposedly a populist Democratic president, Barack Obama. And for the record, I think Obama's done all right as president. I think he's done about as much as he could with the bad hand that he was given. He hasn't gotten much help from Congress, but I think he's done his best to try to stabilize the economy, to try to fix health care. Health care is not great, but it's certainly better now, and there's more people with insurance than had it before. I'm a proponent of single payer myself, but we can't always get what we want. This country's obsessed with the profit motive, as we know. Too much dark, seedy money in our politics, and that drives a lot of legislation that's passed. But anyway, I think Obama's done an all right job for the most part. Totally not with him on this trade deal, and I don't understand why it is that it doesn't seem to matter whether we have a Democrat or Republican president. They all sell us down the river when it comes to protecting American jobs and fighting for manufacturing base where we make things here in America and we have good jobs. So people can provide for their families. And let's face it, these jobs that they're supposedly being created that will replace a lot of these jobs They don't pay as much. They're not union, and it's all a shell game for the most part. So these big multinational corporations are obviously the ones benefiting from this garbage. Where if you go through towns like Muncie or Anderson, Indiana, or Newcastle, around where I'm from, there's lots of abandoned homes and there's shuttered factories, and there's been a lot of population loss. People left town to try to find work, and it's very unfortunate. And I'm getting sick and tired of reading about this crap. And we've got every labor union that's left in the country, the battered, beaten, bruised unions, opposing the Trans-Pacific Partnership, but yet they are still shoving this crap down our throats. I'm just going to read a little bit to you from this article by George Zornak in The Nation. Now Congress is fast-tracking the TPP fast track. It's got a big picture of Ron Wyden's ugly mug here, and I don't know what his deal is. I thought Oregon was a progressive state, and he's a Democrat, but Wyden is a co-sponsor of this terrible fast-track bill, along with Orrin Hatch of Utah. By the way, I hope you folks in Utah, Oregon, that you're all calling them Hatch and Wyden and letting them know that how you feel about this terrible trade bill. Like I said, the free trade bills have been especially harmful for the Midwest. If you live in the Midwest, you could see the devastation it's done to the towns here. But let me read to you a little bit from this. So after months of backroom negotiations, key congressional negotiators are finally ready to unveil legislation that would fast-track approval for the Trans-Pacific Partnership. The bill would prohibit Congress from amending the trade deal. Now, why would we want that? Why in the hell would you ever want legislation where Congress can't come back and amend it later if there's bad stuff in there? Gee, if that doesn't scream corporate giveaways and handouts, then I don't know what does. So it would prevent Congress from amending the trade deal and would require a simple majority vote for passage, but would in exchange set a variety of negotiating parameters. If the architects of this legislation, as we said, Senators Wyden and Hatch and Representative Paul Ryan